Derek,
JB.
lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
And welcome back to part 2 of JB Meets DB.
Hey, what a show.
Absolutely. This is all about trying to understand power to mind more.
Great, okay.
And what we're going to cover today, body language. So let's get us started, Derek.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just watching how I stand here.
We're on a hill, so it's giving sense.
I've got a dodgy hip. But anyway, body language, what is it? How do we use it? What should we be thinking about?
Yeah, sure. Body language is, if you look at the way we communicate, about 90%, well up to 90% of the way we communicate is non-verbal, JB. So we're actually communicating all the time in the way that our body moves and with our gestures. And this is all done at an unconscious level.
Where do I put my hands now? There we go. Putting them in my pocket.
So am I. Everybody's now very, very self-conscious. But this, and the way we communicate on a daily basis, we do a lot of repeating of unconscious patterns that we had the previous day, the next day. So we have these patterns ingrained into us, and about 80% from psychological research of what we did yesterday, we will do the same again the next day. So body language is a very, very important thing to be aware of and to incorporate into your everyday business and personal dealings.
Okay, so let's say someone downloads some information off the net, try to understand body language better.
Yeah.
Is it foolproof, and what are the main mistakes that you see people making in meetings?
Yeah, sure. It's not foolproof. What it is you have to look at things not in isolation, but more in clusters. And what you're actually looking for is a change in behaviour. So if I've read a lot of books and been on courses where they talk about if you scratch your nose and if you cross your legs, and all this stuff it's useful, but it can lead you up the wrong path. What you're really looking for is cluster in behaviour. So, for example, humans tend to mirror each other. So they do this kind of dance, JB. So when you're in rapport with somebody, you'll see this at a cafe, they tend to mirror each other's body language. And that shows there is rapport that is going on.
Have you seen me dance?
I'd rather not. I say, that thought is somewhat scary. So there is this non-verbal dance going on where people are mirroring each other, and that's an indication that rapport is going on. So it means that people are like-minded, and a bit like with the pendulums and the clock, if you swing one and they're the same length, you swing the other one, eventually they'll start synchronizing. So you have this, they call it entrainment. You have a similar thing that's going on with body language. And what you're looking for there, JB, is changes in that. So if there is a breakdown in that mirroring that's going on, it could indicate that there's a problem. So if I was mentioning pricing or perhaps a particular strategy and it didn't quite resonate with you, you may move away from that, because we tend to move away from things that we don't like and we move towards things that we do like. You'll have seen that when you're excited, people go forward in the seats.
Yeah.
So these are the sorts of things we're aware of on a bigger scale rather than looking for the minutiae, which is a skill in itself and has to be taken in clusters.
So when you sit your clients down, what are the main ways they can try and differentiate themselves through body language, and how do you bring power to mind in that, and how can you help them through power to mind?
Yeah, sure. I think we can look at let's look at some of the mistakes as well. I don't think I covered that last, just some of the main things that you can address immediately. One of the things I've seen happens a lot in meetings is this pointing. Now, if I point at you, it's not a pleasant experience. If I point at the camera, it's very much, it reminds you of being told to do something. It's not comfortable, is it?
Certainly don't point at a Scotsman. Not a good idea.
But slightly more comfortable is using the backs of your hands like that, but it's still not great. It's far better if you can actually use the palms of your hands. This indicates trust, it also indicates openness, and people respond far better to that. So, and one of the main things, getting back to how can we actually help people, is if you're doing the mirroring, so if you're wanting to build rapport with somebody, to have this, if you like, entrainment going on, so you're doing this dance. If you try to drive a car consciously, JB, you know, it goes all over the place when you're first learning. You're kangarooing about the place. So to do this consciously, you can appear a bit clumsily, or JB's moved his arm, so I'll move my arm. And you can get yourself in trouble. A far better way to do is to get this done on an unconscious level. And this is what I specialize in, is to make sure that people actually are in the right state, that their focus is in the right place. So when they go into the meeting, they're doing this automatically. And this goes on all the time. This is not something that's unnatural. It's a natural thing, but it's just being aware of this so that you can communicate more effectively, and somebody will pick up that you are actually in this rapport with them, which means they're more likely to be receptive to your message and you as an individual.
I've started to be watching the coverage of the House of Commons, obviously going through the various Brexit votes and debates, and I suspect they could do with a bit of power to mind in there as well, Derek.
I think they could, and I will be sending them off my link because I think I would have a plethora of work there, JB.
And on that, that concludes part 2 of JB Meets DB. If you like this, please give us the thumbs up like, please comment, let us know what you like to hear about Power to Mind, and we look forward to part 3 of Power to Mind. Derek, been great to see you again. Thank you.
You too, JB. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks.